What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And today we got part 2 of SCP-610, the Flush That Hates. So there was a few questions. Like always in all my reactions, I usually have a lot of questions. You guys help me out a lot in the comment section below. You guys did answer a few of them. The big one that I want to actually see animated though is how far the virus flesh could like actually go, and also what and why does it hate? What does it hate? Like, why is that part of its name? Probably not a big thing in the grand scheme of things. However, I hope that they get some like backstory or some information about why it hates so much, or if there's like a main goal for this flesh to do what it's doing. I hope we could get something similar along the lines of that. If not, I hope it's just a great animation either way. So with that being said, if you guys are excited for this juicy reaction and you guys have been liking my reaction so far, please remember to smash that like button. It means the world, especially if you do like the content. And also remember to smash the sub button as well too if you're not already part of the family. Like I said every video, the train has stopped. We're in the building. I'm telling you guys, man, I've been making extra stops. Like, I'm trying to pick up some stragglers. Like, y'all gonna make me work extra and you guys aren't gonna hop in? Like, come on, join the family, smash the sub button, quit playing with the kid, and also remember to turn on post notifications as well. Tune in because I post multiple uploads a day frequently, so you don't want to miss a dose. It's just how YouTube works. So that's just a guaranteed way to get notified about when I'm actually dropping videos. So with that all out the way, remember, shout out to TheRubber, link in description below for the original video. Without them, there'll be nothing to react to. So without any further ado, let's get this show started. SCP-610, The Flush That Hates, Part 2. Let's go.
Viewer discretion is advised. So, the biology mutation process of SCP-610 and some aspects of the exploration logs were discussed in Part 1. If you want to know more, please click here to watch Part 1.
Sure did already.
In this video, we will dive further into the exploration of SCP-610. At the end of Part 1, we mentioned that the destruction of Site C resulted in a series of unexpected events in Site A. As the strange spherical formation in Site C was burned and destroyed, aerial footage shows the infected entities in Site A going into explosion. Hello everybody, I'm TheRubber. Today we bring you SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-610 Part 2. After the explosion, all immobile 610 infected within the village rapidly shriveled and died, along with any flesh material spread across inanimate objects. The mobile 610 infected made their way into an upper-class residence building. As the infected entered the building, the ground collapsed, revealing a sinkhole. All infected life that did not evacuate into the hole, remaining above ground instead, died and quickly became shriveled husks.
I'm interested to see how they communicate with each other, because it doesn't seem like they could talk. And there is like a hierarchy, like an alpha and like beta and stuff. So I want to know how they get those messages across.
In a span of 30 minutes, 3 research teams set up stations within the village's remains. Samples of the deceased 610 infected were sent back to Perimeter HQ for processing and researching. However, 2 hours later, seismic activity began to occur within Site A.
Damn.
2 of the original teams remained on site, while the 3rd team was instructed to proceed back to Perimeter HQ with the collected samples. Immediately following the seismic event, a torrent of 610 spores erupted from the hole and layered the area around it for a span of 50 meters.
Jeez.
As the eruption was being reported, both teams at Site A were assaulted by...
Yo, are those like vulture flesh monsters? Dual heads? Bro. This is getting pretty dummy.
By infected flying organisms. These organisms attacked by splitting their heads in half and clamping them against research members, pulling them into the air, and dropping them into the hole.
So crazy.
Before video and radio contact was lost with the remaining teams inside Site A, a second seismic event began to occur, causing another spore burst.
Oh my goodness.
Following this, a new, previously unseen SCP-610 entity began to emerge from the hole. The creature's only footage depicts an engorged human head, approximately 20 times larger than that of an average human,
The heck?
pressing itself out of the hole with no discernible.
It looks like it's giving birth. Yo. Oh my. That is not a pretty sight.
Body. The research team's video and radio contact were lost as seismic forces increased to 7 on the Richter magnitude scale for 2 seconds duration, then abruptly ceased. For over 1 hour, nothing further had happened at Site A. All personnel and equipment are considered lost. With an absence of activity at Site A, the Foundation decided to send in another remote drone to explore the sinkhole and relay transmitted data back to HQ.
Yeah, what's the purpose of the
After
sinkhole?
approximately 2 minutes, the drone found traces of SCP-610 material attached to the dirt and rocks at a depth of 15 meters.
I'm assuming it's probably the nest of the flesh monster, and we get to see the actual boss or the main entity that spread this flesh, the actual SCP that's causing this whole problem. Hopefully that's the case. I really want to see if that is, if a thing like that exists, or is it just like, just a flesh virus.
The material is dormant, but retains its texture and appearance, unlike samples from above ground level, which shrivels and dries rapidly.
Oh.
At 100 meters in depth, small tunnels branch out at apparently random intervals. An increase in the density of SCP-610 materials found on the walls is noted as the drone continues down.
Getting closer
The
to the
bottom
king
of
or
the sinkhole
queen.
becomes visible, and the tunnel tilts sharply, suggesting an abnormal formation. 610 material now coats the tunnel entirely. Movement is detected 5 meters ahead.
So he's definitely getting close
The
to a
camera
boss or
focus
something.
turns to a moving mass, which appears to be a deer,
What?
uninfected, wriggling in the grips of tendrils composed of 610 material.
How did a deer get this far without being infected? Yo, what is going on here? Because in the first reaction, they were saying living organisms cannot get infected, and I'm assuming a living organism was animals. They're a living organism. However, if you guys were telling me that it was more plant-based, like plants and stuff can't get infected, which could make sense because humans can get infected, like we're close to animals, but it's just so uncanny that there's a deer that got this deep and is now just getting infected.
The deer is suspended in mid-air. 30 meters past the encountered deer, the tunnel displays large lumps in apparently random placement. These lumps are discovered to have similarities to the infected villagers who escaped from Site A, finding refuge in the sinkhole after Site C's destruction.
Mm-hmm.
The sound of rushing water is now detected, and the drone is pushed forward. The tunnel splits into a crossroads at this point.
Sky and water?
One tunnel leads around a river and then seems to slope downward,
What?
while the other is directly above a light source in the ceiling.
Oh.
The drone proceeds upwards for approximately 45 minutes before emerging into a windy mountainside, assumed to be in the neighborhood of Site B.
Dang.
The buildings appear to be constructed directly from 610 tissue substance and coated in deceased 610 material.
Wait, so there was no like hidden layer in the tunnel? I thought it was literally a nest, honestly. I guess it's just a tunnel to another site that the flesh creatures made, and they found refuge there.
After a cursory scan of Site B, it is determined that there is no life present,
Oh my god.
either natural or 610 related. So the drone is directed back into the tunnel.
Okay.
Upon descent, a deep roaring sound fills the audio,
Uh-oh.
and the video feed shows what appears to be an immense human face with no discernible features and stretched to 20 times normal proportions.
Yo.
It rushes towards the drone. There are eye sockets, but no eyes. A mouth, but no teeth.
Mm-hmm.
The drone fires upon
Oh my
this
god.
creature, but
Get
the
him.
bullets did not deter it. There is no room in the tunnel for the drone to take
Yep.
evasive action, and soon the drone is swallowed, cutting both audio and video feed.
Dang. I wonder if that was the boss. I wonder if that was the boss of the flesh, like, or like the first flesh that started this whole thing. That would be interesting. And a few of you guys were telling me in the comment section below, like, if you get shot enough, it will end up hurting you. But I just don't understand that logic with these flesh monsters. Because what's to get hurt? Because their organs should be like all gone and everything. They're just like a ball of flesh. like their human self is like deteriorated to like a flesh creature. So in that, with that logic, I would think if you're shooting them with bullets, putting holes in them, what arteries is it hidden if it doesn't have any arteries or organs? You know, they should still keep on going. For example, like this drone shot, you know, Big Boss right over here, and like it was fine. So it's just interesting. It doesn't seem consistent because like this happened, and then you know, other SCP agents shot other flesh monsters, and then it hurt them, or like somehow some way it killed them. So I hope everything comes together, and there's a reason why this dude didn't get injured or hurt or whatever.
Approval from Central HQ was granted for a manned assault excursion into the tunnels beneath Site A to ascertain the SCP-610 infection's extent. The destruction of Site A and Site C established that 610 could be contained and destroyed, making the source of the infection top priority.
You could destroy it for real?
The descent into the tunnels consisted of 5 teams, 2 researchers, and 3 assault agents, along with enough equipment to establish an underground base of operations.
I gotta see
The base
this.
camp for underground SCP-610 operations resided at the bottom of a 3-way junction where the tunnels split. The first pathway led from Site A to Cavern HQ. The second pathway connected to the ruined Site B village, where an unknown 610 entity destroyed the previous drone. The third pathway headed west and seemed to follow a flow of water from an unconfirmed source. The 2 research teams divided activities between building Cavern HQ and collecting samples of 610. No contagious materials were detected within this area, and the unknown creature recorded by the destroyed drone did not appear at any point to the cavern staff. The remaining teams were ordered to proceed down the unexplored pathway with personal recording devices.
The water one.
After approximately 20 kilometers of walking, no infectious life forms appear in the tunnel. The assault team leader then requests a transport buggy be dispatched to them, which is used to continue the exploration. Following this, they come under attack by multiple 610 infected life forms that emerge from the material coating the tunnel walls.
Get him.
While the assault team manages to escape and protect the buggy during this attack, select members are lost to rapid water currents in the stream below.
One of the researchers.
3 members of the assault team remain, armed with a single flame unit. They continue with exploration. Hours later, the group comes under attack again from a smaller number of 610 entities, larger than the previous encounters.
Okay, fire makes sense. That's what I'm talking about. The fire that they used, or at least harm the flesh creatures. That makes sense to me. Bullets don't. So I'm glad they're using fire instead of bullets.
Dispatching the creatures results in all equipped flamethrowers to deplete their fuel tanks, forcing the teams to rely on standard weapons and short-range personal flame units for the remainder of their excursion.
Let me hear that one more time, though.
In the previous encounters. Dispatching the creatures results in all equipped flamethrowers to deplete their fuel tanks, forcing the teams to rely on standard weapons and short-range personal flame units for the remainder of their excursion.
I don't know if that would work.
The tunnel widens out into what appears to have once been a village of indeterminate age. There is a church with a working clock tower, and the area surrounding the building has a dent in the ground filled with a substance resembling a liquefied version of 610 fleshy material.
Jeez.
The liquid moves with unseen force, rippling outward from invisible contact points and rolling in waves from unfelt wind. The team avoids this liquid and proceeds to the church.
Okay.
Within the church are 4 pews, one of them shattered, and a pulpit. Strangely, the entire area is immaculately clean. The clock tower bell tolls abruptly.
No flush?
This triggers a shudder in the building.
That's a trap.
Followed by human screams that appear to come from above.
Told you.
Light from an unknown source shines upon the ceiling.
Oh my god.
Revealing a large mass of SCP-610 and 6 wooden circles.
Those D-classes or something?
Strapped to each ring is a living human, coated entirely from neck to toe in 610. Their exposed head appears uninfected.
That dude looks like the researcher that got washed away with the current. Is it just me? That's definitely the researcher. Or maybe the art is just similar. Maybe, I could be wrong.
There's relentless screaming as the bell continues to toll, wooden circles lowering to the ground. An unknown creature cries from outside, prompting the team to hide behind the pulpit. all sources of light are extinguished, pitching the area into darkness.
Yo.
The camera's night vision is left off, presumably to avoid revealing the team's location.
Damn.
A figure is seen holding a small torch from the church's entrance and lights a series of candles at the doorway.
Uh-oh.
The flame is then applied to a rope coated in SCP-610, which
Knew it.
quickly ignites and spreads up to a chandelier system.
This is a trap.
The light from this system illuminates the red material
Or they're doing some
holding
ritual.
the captive humans, which shows signs of constant motion, rippling across itself in waves.
Will they sacrifice?
A flood of 610 infected shamble quickly into the area, proceed to the captives and begin to rip off the red material surrounding them, resulting in further screams and cries. The red material seems to be connected to the humans, using them as a source of sustenance to grow, which then provides food to the 610 infected.
Oh, they're harvesting. Yo, they're smart out here. Oh my god. Okay, I wonder how it's attached to them now. Is it like part of their body now? Like they fused to it and they kept the head, you know, still human, so they could still have the nutrients pouring down in the flesh, and it could just like, you know, replenish itself when they, you know, grab flesh. That's cool. I like what they did there. If that is the case.
Feeding like this continues for 6 minutes,
Oh my god.
at which time a figure sounds a gong, and all infected entities move to the pews. The figure then spontaneously collapses as if made from hollow clay.
What? They're in church
A pillar
now?
of SCP-610 flesh rises and extends through the hole behind the pulpit, directing itself toward the gathered creatures. 10 minutes later, it retracts back into the hole, and the infected entities exit the church. As the 3 team members
What kind of
attempt to
service
leave,
is that?
one of them is thrown into the air several meters by a tendril that emerges out of the ground. The
Wow,
2 remaining
it's out of
members
nowhere.
run back towards the buggy. Passing by a building, one of them is ambushed by a figure wielding a large crop scythe, which footage reveals to be the same infected who previously lit the church candles. The last member continues without pause
Hold
towards the
up.
buggy location. However, the buggy is found half absorbed by a SCP-610 mass covering the floor.
Damn, they covered all
While attempting
bases.
to find another means of escape, his camera reveals the scythe-wielding figure approaching.
Bro, he looks badass.
Weapon raised. 2 shots are fired, and the video feed ends. 5 hours later,
let's see.
while final decisions were underway regarding how to contain or eradicate the SCP-610 threat, a
Fire.
time-delayed video feed from the initial team members lost to the underground river currents became available. This feed was filled in SCP-610 L6 field logs, containing the exploration records of Operation Source Point. Remember to check out my...
Okay. That was interesting. I don't know how to feel about the conclusion. It was like so many things still left unanswered. Like how to kill it, like what was your plan to kill it, like their end goal, because they said that they could kill it. They said they could kill this SCP, which is like crazy to me for me to think, because it's like an SCP that like spreads itself, and it seems like it's indefinite. They never said there's a limit to how much it could spread. We didn't get that confirmed or like verified, but that and how you could like stop them. Like if you kill them, would they just, you know, come back as like a flesh monster again? Because the dude that was in the church, he like, you know, lit the candles and then he turned to a blob of flesh, and then he came back again, like out of nowhere. It's just really interesting. Also, what I really want to see, personally, I think a way to have a perfect counter for this SCP to eliminate it is to use the Burning Man. Like the Burning Man wants fuel, wants to burn. It could burn all this flesh. I literally would love to see Burning Man versus the flesh that hates. Because how would they even like turn the Burning Man into like a flesh monster? Like would it even get infected? It's fire. It's literally fire. So if they try to, it'll get burned. And let's see, does he have enough firepower to burn all the flesh? Literally, this would be the perfect opportunity. If they still have the Burning Man in captivity, which I'm assuming they do, the guy's a little goofy, that would be pretty cool to see, honestly. That would be pretty... Man, I got too many video ideas, bro. I should keep them on the DL. Shoot. Like, yo, I might make a video just doing that. Hey, but with that being said, man, I had a blast reacting to this. It was just left me, you know, with more questions than answers. But either way, it was a good reaction. If you guys enjoyed this reaction and you guys want to see more, please remember to smash that like button, man, if you made it to the end. And also remember, sub to the channel if you haven't already. If you made it this far, I don't know why you're not subbed, but it behooves you to sub if you enjoy my content and if you enjoy SCP reactions. So also remember to turn on post notifications as well so you don't miss an upload. And with that being said, the show has ended. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one. With